Welcome back to Talking with Our Traders, a Caesars Sportsbook original series, the podcast that takes you inside the mind of the sportsbook with our very own Caesars Sportsbook traders. I'm your host, Cindi Edwards, and with me today and all season long, Craig Mucklow, Vice President of Trading here at Caesars Sportsbook.
Hello there.
And Joey Fiesel, Head of Football here at Caesars.
Hello.
How are we doing, guys?
Good.
Good.
I smell the turkey already for next week.
It's coming quick.
Frank doesn't like that smell.
No, turkey's horrible. It's
I don't
dry and
really
disgusting.
like Thanksgiving food.
It's not like stuffing or
No,
mashed
I
potatoes?
actually hate stuffing.
What?
Yeah.
That is blasphemy.
Hate it.
That is blasphemy.
But anyways, let's get into some college football. Not the best week,
No.
but it's all right. Let's start with some coaching news. Joey, Virginia Tech has hired James Franklin to be their next head coach. How would you grade the move?
For Virginia Tech, B+. I think it's, if we look at what James Franklin was at Big Ten, did he underperform in games? But did he beat up on crappy teams? Yeah, and who's he got to play? The ACC teams, they're crappy. Credit to Franklin, because he could have sat on his couch and made just a pretty penny doing nothing. And the guy's like, no, I want to work. And so good for him. He doesn't bring the same Enter Sandman kind of, that's like their kind of go out.
Shouldn't.
He doesn't fit that mold quietly. So we'll see how he kind of gradually leans into that role. But no, I think it's an upgrade for Virginia Tech. He has those regional ties where he has those recruiting. There's certainly going to be some good Penn State players that are going to go to Virginia Tech and just elevate Virginia Tech because they're playing in the ACC. So I don't hate it. I don't understand it, but I don't hate it.
Craig, how would you grade that move?
I don't understand how Joey thinks anybody's a good Penn State player, judging by their record.
Ouch.
Expensive. Penn State had to pay him, $49 million on his buyout.
Yeah.
And now he lets him off the hook and only gets $9 million. The guy's got more money than sense, clearly.
Yeah. It's more money than I'm ever going to make. So.
Once you get to that many millions, I don't know.
I don't
know how those people think,
Exactly, yeah. Look,
weird.
It'll
weird
be
move.
good for Virginia Tech, and he's in an easy conference, so maybe get out the limelight a bit more, probably do him some good.
All right. Oklahoma stunned Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Maybe not stunned Craig, but stunned some people. Did they just blow up the SEC playoff picture, and how did that upset move futures?
So right off from the bat, moving futures-wise, Oklahoma goes from 50-1 to 20-1. Alabama goes to 7-1 to 14-1. Wait, why would that be such a small move? Because Alabama's still in a prime position to make the SEC title game. And if they make the SEC title game, they're in. So it doesn't kill Alabama. It certainly puts a blemish, but it definitely gets Oklahoma in the picture, at least for now. They're both still favorites to make it in the playoffs. But again, Alabama's going to have that because of the strength of the schedule. Something maybe the AFC should take into consideration so that we can keep the Patriots out in the future. But,
Exactly.
But for right now, that's not how it goes. It blew it up slightly, but really just gave the benefit to Oklahoma. Didn't hurt Alabama that much, except for when we look at seeding opportunities in the future.
All right, Craig, I'm going to give you your time to gloat.
I don't do that.
Never. If you want to do a victory lap, here's your chance.
Okay.
Do you want to get up and
That would take
run
too
around?
much energy, but it has been known I am a bad winner. A gracious loser, a terrible winner. Look, we both called this last week. It was no real surprise. Oklahoma are a very good team. They've had a ridiculously tough schedule. Alabama's the outsider of 3 looking in because of Georgia and Texas A&M. Minus 250 to make the playoffs. We still think they get in. But if they lose to Auburn in 2 weeks, which Auburn always raise their game.
Yeah,
that's always a great
That's
game.
the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough game.
If Alabama lose that, bye.
Yeah, see you later.
Bye. Okay. Well, Georgia dominated Texas 35-10, resulting in the number 1 ranked preseason team being eliminated from the college football playoffs. What does the future hold for Texas and Arch Manning after this underperformance this season?
Look, I don't think Arch Manning in Texas should just lay down and retreat and say, treat this year as a failure. This is the SEC. This is the top level of college football, and this is their second year in the SEC. They were in the Big 12 for the longest time. With Arch, the Mannings don't always come out just absolutely tremendous. If we look at Peyton, he still holds the rookie record for interceptions, which, there's a lot of times you say it's very difficult to do. You got to have 10 within the first 3 games in order to get there. So it's all about growing and taking a step forward. And I don't think Arch is just going to be done. I think he has all the pedigree, and he has time to grow. And this is really going to prove whether he's going to, maybe he's going to try to blame Texas and go to the transfer portal. I don't think he's that guy. I don't think his parents or his uncles want him to do that. So I think he's going to, just take this as a learning opportunity and step forward. And, he still has the opportunity to be a very good quarterback, and he'll still be probably in those Heisman early rankings next year if he stays at Texas.
You know what the SEC stands for?
What?
Second best conference, because the Big Ten's the best. Texas will be just fine. They'll recruit well again. They'll spend the money. Manning clearly needed an extra year just to mature more than anything.
Yeah.
It was, his first full season. And you forget, these are young kids. They'll be a legit contender next year for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. How did that result impact SEC futures?
So locked in Georgia, and it put them in a weird position, a positive position, where they could be, I heard this week, where they're number 4 in the rankings right now. Even if they win out, if Alabama wins out, they have that strength of schedule where they're going to get in the SEC title game. So that would give Georgia a bye. Then if they somehow stayed in the 4 seed, which I think it's unlikely, but if they somehow did, then you get a double bye. You give Kirby Smart that much time to prepare for a playoff game. Yeah. I mean, Georgia's scary. So it might be a good thing that they don't get in the SEC title game, because it can't really hurt them that much. They're still going to be in the mix. It could hurt them with the seeding a little bit, but that's just extra time. It's less chance of an injury. Do they want to win an SEC title? Yeah, but been there, done that for Georgia. You want to win a national title again.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Texas A&M survived South Carolina after trailing 30-3 at halftime. That's the largest comeback in program history. Did that result add to Reed to the Heisman conversation at plus 575?
It was a great comeback, but against a bad team. And we've seen South Carolina be kind of a bad team kind of this whole year. I was on the trading floor on Saturday saying Lenore Sellers is going to be the greatest quarterback of all time. And everybody's like, oh, Joey's drinking again. We better keep an eye on him.
At least you're watching a game.
At least I'm watching the game.
College games.
This puts Marcel, he put them in a bad position, right? He threw in 2 interceptions. It's not like he didn't contribute to this bad position that they were put in to make the comeback, but he did come back. He is within that Heisman conversation because he's going to be in the SEC title game. Everybody's going to be watching. Those voters don't vote till Monday. Mm-hmm. So if he blows up and beats either Ole Miss, Alabama, or Georgia, he might make a case. So he's not out of it quite yet. I think like this game was kind of a Heisman moment because he came back, but he put him in that position. So I don't see it as much. But he's going to have all the eyeballs in the SEC title game, and that's going to be in the most because it's going to be against a great team. So
yeah, but the front two are going to meet each other.
They're going to meet each other
in the Big Ten championship. For me, it speaks more of South Carolina because they had A&M dead to rights, they had Alabama dead to rights, and they can put either team away. So that, to me, that's bad coaching.
Yeah.
And you can't be blowing 27-point leads, especially within the conference. South Carolina have played very well this year in 2 big games and just not played the full 60 minutes. So, yeah, it speaks more to South Carolina than it does to the quarterback because Joey's right. He put them in that position.
Yeah. Which group of 5 team would you have making the college football playoff right now?
North Texas Mean Green. They're an exciting team. They're the opposite of a Craig team, right? They don't play defense. They score a bunch of points.
I'll never watch that game.
Yeah, he hates that team. Led by Eric Morris, who was wide receiver under Mike Leach. You know who is the offensive coordinator for in college at Texas Tech? Patrick Mahomes. So this is his time to kind of show the world that maybe this old system of just run and gun and score 1 billion points might work. That'll be an exciting game to see. It's who I want to see. That's who I think is going to get there.
Craig?
I had James Madison, but not real opinion. They got the best strength of record, and they may or may not be my pick this week.
Ooh, we will see. Which team is the biggest college football playoff liability heading into Week 13?
So for national championship, we have Texas Tech is the biggest liability going into Week 13. They're flashy, have good defense. They might shock the world. I mean, they seem to be much more talented than Arizona State was last year, who was in this Big 12 spot, and they almost beat Texas. So this team scares me. I don't like this team. They beat me every week out of, everybody's on them, and they just beat me. So I don't like this team. But yeah, they have a shot. I don't think they're actually thrown out. I think they are talented on both sides of the ball. It's just they haven't had to play that big game yet.
Yeah. That's Texas Tech at 12s, followed by Indiana at 5s, Notre Dame at 10s. And then on the reverse, we are cheering on Georgia 9s, Oregon 14s, and Ole Miss at 18.
All right. Let's get into some game previews, starting with Oklahoma versus Missouri. Both teams feature tough defenses. Do we like the under or the over here at 41.5?
I like the under. I don't think that, anytime it's an Oklahoma game, it's going to be. It's just going to be slow, methodical pace. I don't think they're trying. They're the opposite of North Texas, right? They're trying to control the ball, control the pace. And Missouri is also a good defensive team, and they're going to want to play spoiler here. It looks like from the line movement, we're expecting Bo Pribula to probably play, which. He had shown flashes early in the season, got hurt, had that ankle dislocation or some sort of weird injury, but might be back in this one. This is only for Missouri to play spoiler just to ruin Craig's hopes of Oklahoma getting in.
Hey, look, 4-1 at the start of the year, and I called them. I'm pretty sure Oklahoma's 7-3 to the under this year. 7-2 to the under. So, yeah, big time under team, but it speaks because these are the 10th and 11th best defenses in the country. Under 41.5 in a college game that's even brave for me.
You're flirting with Iowa.
I'm flirting, yeah. This one does worry me for Oklahoma, though. They come off the big win last week. Missouri have lost 3 games to the number 8, the number 10, and the number 3 in the country. 2 of those were one-score games. So they played those teams close, and I do think they'll play them close again. Obviously, Oklahoma can't afford a loss because they're toast.
Yeah.
And this is they've got LSU next week, if I remember rightly. Again, not an easy out. And the path for Oklahoma is just ridiculous. But that's scheduled. I think that'd be dangerous in the playoffs if they make it.
I mean, to get where they're at now,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
They can be competitive. It's behind that defense.
I did see one stat. Oklahoma have scored every time they've had the ball inside the 20 this year.
Wow.
Wow, that's impressive.
That is impressive. All right, moving on. Number 8, Oregon versus number 17, USC. There are significant college football playoff implications for both teams. They both need a win here to boost their playoff hopes. Lines currently Oregon minus 9.5, total 59.5. Break it down.
Yeah, this is the golden ticket game, right? You win this one, you might just punch your golden ticket, get into the playoffs. This is the Pac-12 title game, right? This is the old 2 top teams in the Pac-12, and it would be the Pac-12 championship. This year, Oregon really doesn't want to lose this game. There's so many doubters out there. We saw last 2 weeks when they beat Iowa, they went down in the standings, right? Everybody wants Oregon to not win this one. And USC is going to take that to heart. Backed by Lincoln Riley, this is a team that always is up and down. They lose a couple games they probably shouldn't, but they did. They've certainly played a tough schedule this year and really kind of been competitive. And according to Craig, the best conference, the Big Ten.
By a distance.
By a distance. So definitely Oregon's game to lose here. USC is going to be tough because they could win this game. They're at 17 right now, I think, ranked.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Next week they get UCLA. That's not going to move the needle at all. So they might still need help leading down the line, but buckle up. I think this one's going to be, this is the only good game of the week, in my opinion. So
one.
we better watch and enjoy.
This is the second best game because Oklahoma and Missouri is the best because it's going to be 3-0 or something like that.
Yeah, it's according to Craig.
Heavily opinionated take there.
Love me a 3-0. A win guarantees Oregon in the playoffs.
Yeah.
A loss puts them on the brink. But
Right.
that loss will be to the number 2 team in the country. A USC team that, if they do beat them, will probably be top 10, I'm guessing.
Be right on that for you.
But I think if USC win this, I think they become a playoff team only because they're scheduled. They've beat Michigan, a road win over Oregon, the comeback win over Iowa, and the 2 losses to both ranked teams are combined 12 points. I might like USC on this.
Yeah, and X is going to be going crazy if that's the case. So there's going to be arguments up and down of
That's why I don't do social media.
Yeah.
It'll be wild.
It's a whole. All right, let's get into our weekly college football game picks. What is your favorite college football game to go over?
Rice, North Texas. There's going to be a little rain, but not a lot of wind. Still think that North Texas is going to try to score 1 billion points. So give me over 55 in that one.
Rice, North Texas.
Oh.
I hate
I
that.
looked it up.
don't
I'm like,
see that a
I'm
lot.
like, it's a low tone. Let me just make sure the weather so Craig doesn't just flame me on air, you know.
Oh, you did your
well,
homework.
you got his cosign. You got his cosign. All right, favorite college football game to go under?
Cal Stanford under 46.
Louisiana Lafayette at Arkansas State under 54.
All right. Favorite college football team to cover the spread?
North Texas, give them minus 17.5. Again, they're really trying to push that playoff. Tulane's ranked. Even the Tulane coach is like, I don't know why we're ranked. We're not that good. Probably not the best thing to say to the committee, but yeah, I think they're going to really try to bring this one home and get to the AAC title game and get into the playoffs.
James Madison minus 13.5 against Washington State.
Okay.
All right. Favorite college football upset of the week?
Give me Missouri to play spoiler. I think if Bo Pribula gets back, this is their Super Bowl, right? This is a rivalry game, proximity of each other. Oklahoma, maybe they're looking ahead at LSU. Maybe probably not. It's a really good coach, but I think Missouri just can play spoiler here.
I did like that, but it's too big a marquee game for me. So I'm going to go Georgia Southern over Old Dominion plus 360.
All right. Craig, any weather to be aware of?
Lots of rain, not a lot of wind, unfortunately, which is quite boring.
It is
That's
boring.
the only way that would spice up this weekend's football because the slate is not great.
Not great. All right, let's move on to NFL. Let's play some rapid fire. So how this is going to work, we're going to play contender or pretender, and I want you guys to answer at the same time.
Okay.
Sound good?
What if I have...
You can comment afterwards,
All
but
right, okay.
Original, contender, pretender.
All right, let's go.
I want to see how we
Okay.
line up here. All right. Starting with contender or pretender, Chicago Bears.
Contender.
Pretender.
They're a contender because, go back to when we filmed at Monte Cristo, I said the Bears will do really well this year. I don't think they'll be quite good enough to win the division because I was heavily on the Packers, obviously. But they are beating up on bad teams, which there's going to be a couple of these in this list. But the Bears, you've got to beat what's in front of you, and the Bears are doing it. And I think next year they'll be a serious contender.
I think Ben Johnson was the right move there. The problem is I think that there's just too many chips falling, and that's going to be tough to get in when you get to the playoff time to actually push through that.
They're not winning the Super Bowl.
Well, I thought this was contender or pretender.
Yeah, it sure is.
Okay.
Contender or pretender, Detroit Lions.
Contender.
Pretender.
Whoa.
If Dan Campbell's going to continue to call the plays, go ahead and sell that stock right now because that's not it. He's going to go for it in every fourth down. You're not Ben Johnson. Let's not pretend. You give the keys back to Morton and you guys have a chance. But this is a terrible decision to be calling the plays.
Wow.
I wish you'd have told me that when I met him in Tahoe.
Contender or pretender, the Green Bay Packers.
Contender.
Contender. It hurts
That
me to
defense.
say. The defense is there, and you can't argue with it. Keeps him in games. Josh Jacobs had a scare this week, but looks like he's doubtful this week, but I don't think it's a long-term thing. Certainly you don't want to see a knee problem with the running back, but they have the defense to keep him in a game. All you need is a chip in a chair, and if LaFleur finally opens up the playbook, they can be a contender.
Yeah.
Do you think that they're deliberately keeping this playbook tight for when they get to like a big game, maybe Thanksgiving or the playoffs?
That just sounds
then-
so dumb to me.
I
Like,
know.
why would they do that?
It's the only thing
That'd
that
be
makes
the kind of
sense.
stunt I'd pull.
It would be a Craig stunt. It's
All
the only thing
right.
that makes sense.
Contender or pretender, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Pretender.
Agreed. Contender or pretender, Carolina Panthers.
Pretender.
Pretender, yeah.
Contenders or pretenders, San Francisco 49ers.
Contender.
Contender.
Contender or pretender, New England Patriots.
Please.
I got contender there.
Oh!
I'll give it. The AFC is so bad. that they can contend.
So you
The
contend
Rams
out
will
of
crush them,
default.
and they'll get their revenge back for sure, if that's it. But I am contender by default just because the AFC is terrible.
Yes, it is
Absolute
bad.
contenders. Absolute contenders. Okay, contender or pretender, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pretender.
And while we're doing a victory lap, remember I said minus 190 to win the division? They will not win the division when they were minus 190. They're not going to win the division. They are not a good team.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers has got a broken wrist.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike Tomlin. As much as I love you, the season's over.
Contender or pretender, the Indianapolis Colts.
Contender. I think with Jonathan Taylor, I think they can again, it's the AFC is not great. So who's going to show up in the AFC? You got a good running back, got a good offensive line. I'll take them in the playoffs.
We'll see this
Cindi
week.
was right earlier. You don't watch any football, do you?
Stop. Contender or pretender, the Denver Broncos.
Pretender
there, yeah.
All right. Contender or pretender, the Los Angeles Chargers.
Pretender.
Yeah, yikes. Contender or pretender, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Always a contender.
Always a contender. It's either 5-5. I mean, they shouldn't be there, but who wants to play them in the playoffs?
The New England Patriots, apparently.
Nobody. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see them. All right, so let's follow up there. Is there a world, though, where Kansas City misses the playoffs?
Yeah, very
Sure,
much.
yeah.
If they lose this
Patrick
weekend, they're in trouble.
Yeah. If they lose, I mean, you get a couple key injuries and the wrong time, absolutely.
Yeah. Current standings, the Chiefs are currently third in the AFC West, outside of the playoff
They're not
picture.
winning the division. They're full.
Yeah,
they can kiss
the
that goodbye.
tiebreaker disadvantage, too, they have losses to teams Chargers, Broncos, Jags, who are all competing for that wild card.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. Shador Sanders is announced the starter. After a poor Sanders debut last week, we got a little sneak preview. Why are the Raiders only minus 3.5 against the Browns this week at home?
Look, I'm not one to be a Shador Sanders stan. I don't think he's good. And, to be fair, he came off the bench in that game, hadn't practiced with the starters. The Browns are bad anyways. We all know
That
this.
was my dog of the week, and they were leading.
They were leading. They should have got there.
Should have got there.
I don't think Dylan Gabriel's played well in this position, but the Browns are always kind of in that game because it's out of stout defense. So this really comes down to how bad the Raiders are. Even going against Shador, I think I love the Browns in this spot. I think forget about who's playing quarterback of the Browns. It's not who's winning these guys games throughout the year. It's that stout defense and the defense having the ability to make the other team make mistakes. Who makes plenty of mistakes? The Las Vegas Raiders. So I love the Browns in this spot, and I think it's probably even too much points for the Raiders to be laying.
Yeah.
20th, 29th, and 30th in scoring points. So when you've got two bad teams scoring points, you don't give up a lot on the spread, that's for sure. This was never going to get any higher. The Browns have been involved in the three lowest totals this season, pre-match totals. This one's 36. They were in a 34.5 and a 35.5 against the Vikings and against the Dolphins. Both of those went over. Both of those were outside, but this one is indoors. I wouldn't bet this with Joey's money.
All right, moving on. Joe Burrow returned to practice with the Bengals in a limited capacity as he recovers from that turf toe injury. Is it in the Bengals' best interest to bench Joe Burrow, even if he is essentially ready to play, and not make that run for the playoffs?
Maybe, but it's in Zach Taylor's best interest to put Joe Burrow back out there.
Exactly.
Because if he doesn't show that this can be an offensive juggernaut and this can lead you to a Super Bowl in the future with your scheme, because we saw Joe Burrow in the beginning of the year. He wasn't fantastic. So you need to prove that, hey, I can still bring this team out there and score a bunch of points and win this game. I think it's in Zach Taylor's best interest to try to get Joe Burrow out there as soon as possible.
So Zach Taylor's interest is not necessarily what Joe Burrow's best interest is, which we've seen.
Yeah, the Bengals don't make any right decisions anyways, right?
No.
We clearly had a need on the defense, and what they do, they played with Hendrickson and messed with him the whole year. Like they did nothing to build up that defense into a significant portion to make them competitive, especially in a division like the AFC North. So, yeah, the Bengals are going to make a bad decision regardless, but Zach Taylor's got to worry about his future, and if he wants to stay with the Bengals, he's got to get Joe Burrow out there and prove that they can win.
Yeah, I'm thinking in Joe Burrow's best interest. You have three back in the division. You've got New England, Baltimore twice, and Buffalo the next four games. You beat England, obviously, because it's New England.
Yeah, okay.
You're not winning.
We'll see.
I think you tank. You save your franchise quarterback for next year's disappointment.
Yeah. All right. Okay, moving on. Craig, let's talk about the Dolphins, who have won their last 2 games, and their schedule moving forward is pretty easy. Is there a scenario where they make the playoffs, currently plus 5,000 to do so on the Caesar Sportsbook app?
Yeah, we can have an extra 0 on that if you want to bet it with me, because they absolutely have 0 chance of whatsoever. Their conference record eliminates them in any tiebreaker. I was screaming at the TV on Sunday morning, and I jumped into our chat like, McDaniel should have been fired for not kicking that field goal at the end of the 4th. Like, what on earth are you thinking? Like, are you nuts?
Yeah.
And how many times have we seen, like, you're on a road trip, Europe, and the head coach is not on that plane back with the team? Like, that was just brain dead.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're a terrible team. The defense is awful, even though it has picked up the last couple of weeks. And you should be putting away a poor Washington team. And you made Mariota look like an MVP.
Yeah, it was an ugly game.
It was. That's why they sent it to Europe.
Joey,
Yeah.
you agree?
Yeah,
Any
there's
chance?
not in the world that I'm living in. Even if they win out the rest of their games, they still need help.
It's
So,
not happening.
it's not happening.
All right. Is Philly's defense good enough to carry them to the NFC title, even with that inconsistent offense?
Not to win the Super Bowl or to win the NFC title, no. I think they have time to figure it out. But I think also, this past weekend, would really kept a minute if the defense looked good. But it was the beneficiary of Dan Campbell calling plays. Like, he should not be calling plays. You're not that guy. Like, I know you're like the builder of the team, and that's who you are, is getting everybody fired up. But you're not going to be out there, playing like you're playing a Madden game, going on every single 4th down, like you're getting value there. So yeah, I think the Eagles have time to figure it out because they do have the pieces. But right now, no, I don't think they're an NFC title team.
True story. I don't think I've ever played an opponent on Madden and the opponents stayed the whole game, because I literally run the ball, take all the 30 seconds, and none of that. I don't throw it once. They run left, run right.
They get so annoyed they rage quit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your opponent has left. What wins championships?
Defense.
There you go. And that's why they are Super Bowl favorites, because that defense, although, when researching the Eagles this week, there's a lot of words coming out about Hurts, and somebody called him Carson Wentz 2.0 or something.
Oh, man.
And that was a teammate.
Oof.
I mean, that teammate's worse than me as a teammate.
Yikes. All right, guys. Which 5-5 team do you believe in more, the Chiefs or the Ravens?
I believe in the Ravens more. I just think that, going into the year, obviously I had a high expectation of them. I thought they'd win the Super Bowl. I think just up, top down, roster-wise, they have all the pieces. The Chiefs just seems like there's just something missing. Patrick Mahomes has lost confidence. They're also just super reliant on their defense.
Yeah.
And you can't take care of the Broncos. I mean, I guess no one can take care of the Broncos this year, but no, I believe in the Ravens more.
I was stuck on this one only because I think the Ravens win the division.
Yeah.
So because I think they win the division, they get back to normal. I'd be more scared of playing the Chiefs in the playoffs than the Ravens, because the Ravens have shown that Lamar can't win the big one.
So, yeah, so you're saying, like, historically speaking.
Yeah.
All right.
Even though the Ravens are the better team.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
No team is going to want to see Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid rock up in their stadium in the playoffs.
No.
It's very true. All right, Joey, is this the best Rams team of the Matthew Stafford era?
Yes, I do think it is.
Ooh.
Well, yes, they don't have Aaron Donald, which would make this team, honestly. The
Unbelievable.
Ravens, if they had Aaron Donald. But I think they have a stout, really young defense. I think the addition of Puka and Devontae as a wide receiver duo can compete with anybody in the NFL. Kyron has been consistent. It's sometimes, if you look, even were another good Rams team, the Todd Gurley, when they went to the Super Bowl and absolutely laid a dud against the Patriots.
Yeah.
He wasn't as consistent as Kyron is. I think everything's just clicking for them. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because usually I'm like, oh, the Rams stink. That's just how I've grew up. But they looked really good right now. And I think they're going to be trouble for any team they're going to face.
Craig.
The goal is to win the Super Bowl, ideally when I have a ticket on them at the start of the year. They haven't won the Super Bowl yet, so no. The ones that beat the Bengals, that was the best team.
Okay.
All right. Is Myles Garrett the GOAT defensive player?
No.
No.
Aaron Donald won 3 Defensive Player of the Years.
Homer.
I am a homer. Garrett won, maybe 2. Lawrence Taylor won the MVP.
Oh
You're
my
not
God.
even old enough to remember Lawrence Taylor.
I was alive, barely. And Reggie White, that's another Green Bay Packers. So no, he's not the GOAT, at least not yet. I mean, he has opportunity.
He's
but
killing it this season.
he is crushing it, and that goes back. That's all the Browns got. But
Yeah.
no, he's not the defense. He's not the GOAT.
Yeah, Lawrence Taylor's the GOAT, obviously. I looked at the sack record
Yeah.
because obviously he's in danger of hitting that.
Right.
I put a line through Michael Strahan's record because that's when Brett Favre laid over and just let him
Oh,
get
yeah,
it. That should have the Barry Bonds
Embarrassing.
asterisk
Yeah.
next to it. TJ Watt gets 22.5 sacks off 814 snaps, which is 36.1 snaps per sack. Myles Garrett does it in 6 less sacks, 6 less snaps. I can't say that. So far he's at 15 off 459. So is he one of the better defensive players? Yes.
One of the better.
And my
Jesus.
first thought was because the Browns are so bad, he's always on the field. That's why I went back and looked at how many snaps
I looked
they
at that too.
take.
I tried
Yeah.
to look at that angle. So, yeah.
But no, he's good. He's not the greatest.
Could he be the greatest?
Not while he's on the Browns. No, you have to be on a good team. You have to win a Super Bowl
Yeah.
to be the greatest.
Yeah, it's fair. All right. Is the Josh Allen MVP hype overblown? Currently plus 475. He did have a statistically monster performance last week with the 3 throwing and the 3 rushing touchdowns. But he also made some disastrous throws leading to picks the past couple of weeks.
But he's always been known for that.
Yeah,
But
he wasn't
kind
last
of
year, and that's how he got
overcame it
MVP.
last year. Yeah, now he's going back to that 2023 version of himself.
what a stat line. He almost went for the triple. 3 free passing, 3 rushing, 3
Free picks.
interceptions. Yeah. Making Jameis Winston jealous out there. No, it's a little bit overblown for his MVP, and it's because there's going to be voter fatigue, right? There's going to be who's going to vote for the MVP, and whether they should or not, it's going to be like, well, what did he do to elevate his MVP last year? And obviously he's made a lot of worse decisions. But he's going against an old man, Matthew Stafford, and a young, overhyped quarterback, Drake May. So he can absolutely win it, considering the competition.
I think you have to win the division,
Yeah.
which I
Which he
don't
will
think
not do.
they're not going to do. Yeah, you have to be on a successful team that wins a division to be MVP. Is he deserving? Yes. But as Joey says quite correctly, the mental mistakes are the ones that people remember more.
Yeah, big time.
All right. Which one of these teams is not making the playoffs? Odds provided by the Caesars Sportsbook, which are you two guys right here. The Seahawks minus 2,200, the Lions minus 450, Packers minus 375, 49ers minus 800.
The Lions. Dan Campbell's going to continue to call plays and send this team into the trash. Yeah, the Lions aren't going to make the playoffs.
Wow. Okay.
Well, I mean, you're asking Joey not to bet against one of these because these are like money lines that Joey loves. Unfortunately, Joey is correct. It's the Lions. Their schedule includes the Packers, the Rams, the Vikings, and the Bears. Minus 450 seems a bit of value.
Yeah, it's one of these teams. I mean, it's
Yeah, certainly. Absolutely crazy. All right, let's get into game previews. Let's start with that Colts versus Chiefs game. Colts coming off of a bye against a Chiefs team that really just can't afford another loss. The line is currently Chiefs minus 3.5. Total is 49.5. Is this where the Colts can prove that they're the real deal?
This is an opportunity. They are coming off the bye, so it gives them that extra preparation, which you always need for the Chiefs. That's always a must. They're going to be led by their run game. Jonathan Taylor, is he MVP? Probably not, but, we can always, dream. But it is an indoor team going outdoors, which historically is not great.
Right.
But they're not as reliant on the pass. So that, I think, gives them a little bit of an edge there, as opposed to if you're Miami Dolphins going into Kansas City. We've seen that happen a million times. When you rely on the pass, it's just not going to work out. But you want to go against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid after 2 losses, 1 off of bye. That's a scary
Yeah.
predicament. I'd like to feel like drink the Kool-Aid and say maybe the Colts, this is their breaking out party. And if it is, I mean, it's going to go wild. Big movement in Super Bowl futures and stuff like that. But I want to drink the Kool-Aid, but I'm just so hesitant because it is Darth Vader out there with Patrick Mahomes, and they are in a bad spot. Like, they're just not usually in this spot with their backs against the wall, and usually really good teams can figure that out and get through.
Darth Vader, greatest superhero ever. They've only played 2 games outdoors. It's going to be 55 degrees. It's going to be very cold. It's Chiefs weather. Off the top of my head, I was like, oh, well, who have the Colts actually beat? Their 2 losses were against division leaders, the Rams and the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Their 2 wins versus teams with winning record. One you can rule out because there was a terrible call on the field goal against the Broncos, which leaves the Chargers with the only legit win that they've got. Their other wins are against teams with an average of 2.3 wins per game. Chiefs by 1 billion.
Yeah, I don't want it to happen, but it feels like it's going to happen.
All right, moving on. We have Rams versus Bucks on Sunday Night Football. The Bucks started the year so promising, but have started slipping the past few weeks. And the Rams look like the best football team in the NFC right now. Joey, your Rams currently favored -6.5, total 49.5. What should we expect from this one?
Yeah, despite dealing with some key injuries on the Bucs side, Baker Mayfield will just leave it all in the field. I mean, we saw last game, he jumped in the end zone, and luckily his neck broke his fall into the end zone. Like, this guy is going to just put it to the wall, balls to the wall, try to get this win. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Again, those setbacks just really capped this Tampa Bay ceiling. And too reliant on just really your skill players. When they go down, it's going to hurt you. The Rams on the other side have just really clicked on both sides of the ball. Not necessarily a super flashy offense, but just making plays when they need to. Beat a very good Seahawks team in a divisional rivalry last week, so they're going to be high on that. I never want to just take Baker out because he'll just fight to the very end, no matter what. So I don't necessarily like the Rams to cover this game. I think it's going to be a good competitive game. I think it's going to be a lower scoring game, just to play how the Rams play. And I hope so. It's a Sunday Night Football game. So I think, the Rams probably get this done here. But maybe Tampa can kind of sneak in there and keep it within the field goal.
Cover.
How annoyed would you have been if you had the Bucks plus the points last Sunday and then they didn't? They took 2 knees.
Yeah.
And you could see Baker's face. He was disappointed.
Big time.
Yeah. Look, for 5 hours last week, the Rams were the new Super Bowl favorite until the Eagles went and
Best
did
5
the
hours of
business.
my life.
Yeah. This is Sunday Night Football. It's going to be way past Joey's bedtime. Teams going east-west for this distance as a road dog actually do surprisingly well. They're 60% against the spread the last 5 years. The over hits at 60% as well. If this was 7, I'd take the Bucks. 6.5 just feels like a trap. So I'm going to go the under against all the data because Sunday night's home favorites, the under is 5-0 this year.
All right, last but not least, we have Monday Night Football, the 49ers versus the Panthers. Brock Purdy is back for the 49ers. He looked good last week, but Carolina is 4-1 against the spread on the road and keeps surprising teams. Is there any value on the Panthers here? +7.
Yeah, I think there is. I think just to stay within the line, what the Panthers do well is run the ball. What do the 49ers not do well? Keeping their defense healthy. So this actually helps the Panthers slightly here. Panthers did not have a good outing last week. They were favored. That's probably why.
That's why.
Back in their
they
spot.
They need to be underdogs.
They're being a dog. I do think the Niners are a complete team, and it's amazing to me how they've gotten through this adversity of having just so many players lost and still being competitive in games. They have had an easy schedule, probably helped them along the path. And CMC, I don't know how this guy keeps going. He was dead last year, and now he's back at it again. So because I think it's going to be a running game, kind of back and forth, I do like Carolina here to stay within the points.
Craig?
Same as the Rams. You've got a team going east-west as a road dog, and the last 2 road dogs have won straight up on Monday Night Football. One was pretty big, the Cardinals. I think we'll need the same this week. The stats suggest the dog on the spread, it's 7. Unlike the Rams with 6.5. Give me the touchdown on Joey's Panthers.
All right. Let's move on to our NFL picks of the week. What is your favorite NFL game to go over?
Jags Cardinals over 47.5. I think the Jags see the vulnerability with the Chiefs right now, and they don't want to take their foot off the gas. They got a great win last week. Brissett keeps his offense kind of humming.
Breaking records.
Finding ways. So I like this one over 47.5.
The angle I've used most of the year would be the Eagles and Cowboys. However, I'm going to go Browns Raiders over 36.
Wow. Gosh. You know they have to score to get over 36.
And you'll see why in a
Maybe
minute.
we'll see 4 defensive touchdowns.
Favorite NFL game to go under?
Like the Falcons and Saints, 39.5. Kirk Cousins going out there. Both of these offenses are going to struggle, even though Falcons have a lot. Falcons defense really stepped up this year. And I don't think Kirk's going to have enough to be scoring a bunch of points under 39.5.
I'm going to go Chiefs Colts under 49.5, only because it's going to be really cold.
Yeah.
And to Joey's point earlier, you're going to have to run the ball, and running the ball kills the clock.
Yeah.
True. Favorite NFL upset of the week?
Favorite NFL upset of the week? I like the Dallas Cowboys to take care of the Eagles.
Yes, me too.
Really?
I do. I actually watched that game last week. And
You actually watched the
good.
game?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's that?
Nothing special. I'm going to go Cardinals over the Jags.
I like that as well. Wow. Craig, any weather to be aware of?
No, just lots of rain, not much wind, and very cold now. It's November.
It's November.
All right, let's get into our anytime touchdown parlay. 1 leg per person. You can tail this on the Caesar Sportsbook app. It's the Talking with our Traders quick pick. Joey, start us off.
I think this team is desperate. Again, they smell the blood in the water with the AFC. I like Trevor Lawrence. I think this Jaguars team is going to put it all on the line this Sunday, plus 230 to get in the end zone.
All right.
Joey's already mentioned my touchdown scorer. The Raiders defense, 8-1.
Poor Shador.
Go up against the rookie quarterback making his first start. He's going to do desperate things. 2 bad teams. I almost taught myself out and put myself on the Browns defense because Gino's like Santa Claus.
Yeah. You could take either one of them.
I could have really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to go with the Raiders.
All right, and I'm going to close this out with Stephon Diggs, and my play there is he has a new cute little baby, so he's probably on a high, and he's playing the Bengals, so easy there, plus 119. All right, guys, ready for our picks of the week, 1 college, 1 NFL?
You still hold a 2-win lead.
I'm happy to go. Is it only 2?
Well, when you 2 go 1-4 last week, what to expect?
Yeah, but I've been on a roll. Well, how far back are you from Joey then?
I'm 1 back now.
1 back from Joey.
I've gone 4-0 the last 2 weeks.
So that means
All
we're
right.
within 3 of each other.
Yep, my wallet is going firmly back in my pocket all of a sudden.
All right.
But you're in luck
I'm
this week.
happy to go first.
You should. You're in luck because I hate both my picks this week.
Yeah, I
might be a good
don't
thing.
love mine. But I'm going Samford plus 54.5. Is that number still correct?
Samford. Is that even, that
It's just
can't
college
be a
basketball.
College team.
Yeah.
It's a college team, but Samford. Where's
Is
Samford
that-
even located?
I don't know.
You got that number.
You should at least be able to
it's
have a
not-
guess where it is in the
Let
country.
me see.
What's your NFL pick?
I was just looking at Samford, Texas A&M.
Yeah,
The
they're
Bulldogs.
playing. We know they're playing.
I was just looking at big numbers, and I'm always taking the big numbers. Okay.
So you're the opposite of James Franklin.
Yeah, exactly. And then I'm taking Cowboys plus 3. I'm hoping that offense continues to click because they looked great last week.
Against the Raiders.
Yeah,
I look good
True.
against the Raiders.
true. Even though they got in some trouble, their receivers got in some trouble in Vegas, but
They did get in a
still
little bit of
came out.
trouble. Still got it done.
all right, who's following me up?
I'll go next since I'm in second place. North Texas over 55. Don't even think about it. And then Jaguars -3. Again, I really think that this team smells the blood in the water. Liam Cohen is crazy. Trevor Lawrence wants to prove that he isn't a bad quarterback, that he is a good quarterback. They're going to do everything they can and take advantage in this spot. Give me the Jaguars -3.
Yeah,
All right.
I do not like my picks at all. So if you're listening, switch off now.
Fade Craig.
Yeah, oh yeah, these are terrible. I have no love for these whatsoever. James Madison -13.5. And I'm going to go with the Raiders Browns over 36.
All right. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode. If you don't already, please subscribe to Talking with Our Traders wherever you listen to your podcast. Follow at Caesar Sports on Instagram, X, Facebook, and YouTube. Guys, final words heading into this weekend.
If you're betting the Formula One, check the weather because it has been very wet here all week.
Very wet. Very wet indeed. Yeah, that race is always fun. I'm always up too late than I should be on Saturday night watching that. But no, get ready because Monday begins the best sports week of the year, in my opinion. So enjoy the games this weekend. Get some rest because it's going to be a long week next week.
Yes.
All right. Bye.